Hello again, everybody. This again is Koopa Fantasy, and welcome back to once more one of my fantasy football video blogs. Today, I'm going to talk about a bunch of the free agency stuff that's been going on because the last 3 days has been pretty crazy. Been a bit of a fun house for the teams. A lot of QBs have been traded or signed to new teams. Quite a bit of everything actually. The QBs are kind of the main ones. I'm just gonna go with the newest because I've the last 3 days I've been keeping up to date. So the first one I have here is the newest one I've written. I'm just gonna try to quickly go through them. So I'm gonna do all three, and hopefully it won't take too long. All right, Patriots grabbed Ocho Cinco. What a bunch of jerks! I just hate them because I'm a Dolphins fan and they're in my division, and they picked up another good player, probably at discount. He's obviously he lost Carson Palmer, so now he gets to go to a team where he's got Tom Brady thrown to him. He gets to be the deep threat now, so obviously he's going to love that. It should increase his fantasy value. I kind of wait to see how the chemistry works before I go ahead and draft him. Or like obviously I might like he's one of my dinos in one of my other posts. So I would consider definitely drafting him late in your draft and seeing if him and Brady end up having good chemistry and he ends up being a good fantasy wideout for you. Next up, the Bears grabbed Roy Williams. There was talks that they might grab Mike Sims Walker, but it looks like Roy Williams is the guy for them. He's 6'3", fits the bill. They need a tall guy because Hester and Knox, they're not the biggest guys out there. So he has a chance to be the number one in a sense, if you ask me. Not right off the bat. I'm hoping it's going to be Earl Bennett, the number one guy this year. But with Roy Williams, there's going to be a lot of competition on that team to see who comes out on top. Eagles picked up Vince Young to be their backup this season. To me, he's got a pretty similar style to Vic. He likes to run, doesn't have the arm that Vic showed he has last year. But I would love to see him take the opportunity to play behind Vic, maybe come in when they want to preserve the health of Vic. They have a big lead or something, and just learn from him. They're very similar styles. So if he can learn from Michael Vick, that could be good for his career. He's still young, and it's only a 1 year contract. So if he plays good behind Vic, he stays out of the media, and he could end up getting picked up another team next year that actually wants him as a starter. Saints grabbed Darren Sproles. That's pretty much just to replace Reggie Bush. He'll be heading into a really crowded backfield, so really not going to affect his fantasy value too much since he didn't really have much to begin with. Texans grabbed a pair of good defenders in Jonathan Joseph, the cornerback, and Daniel Manning, strong safety. There was talks they were going to grab Namdi, but I guess maybe they didn't want to pay the money for him or didn't want to get into a big bidding war. So they grabbed a pair of good players, and Daniel Manning was very, very physical. I had him on a fantasy team last year just because he puts up a lot of tackles. Jonathan Joseph had 9 interceptions the last 2 years as a Bengal. He's younger than Namdi, so hopefully he can be a quality player for Houston. Help those two can help their defense out this year. 49ers grabbed David Akers. People probably saw him moving as just a matter of time. Eagles drafted Alex Henry in the fourth round, so they don't really need two kickers of that quality. So Akers, coming off two Pro Bowl seasons, is now heading to San Francisco. The Miami Dolphins, my team, they grabbed Matt Moore, I guess, to be the competition for Chad Henne, because apparently there's some game time incentives in the contract. So I guess they really want him to work hard and get on the field in order to compete with Chad Henne. And I really don't know what to think about this. I'm really not too pumped on the QB situation in Miami this year. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Bills grabbed Brad Smith off the Jets. He's a very explosive return man. Plays wide receiver. He played can be like a wildcat kind of guy. He played a college quarterback. So he's going to bring a level of excitement to the team. So that's kind of cool for them. Panthers picked up Greg Olson, the tight end from the Bears. Olson is a very good tight end, if you ask me. If you ask a lot of people, last year was his lowest receptions. A lot of people just blame that on the system they run there in Chicago, which is probably why he left town to be put on a team where he can be put in more use. So hopefully Cam Newton will have a good, solid tight end to throw to, which always helps out a young QB. So that can end up being a good connection between those two. And that was it for the big ones today. We go to yesterday. We had the Dolphins pick up Reggie Bush, which is great for Daniel Thomas owners, because there was rumors they were going to get him Rob Bradshaw, someone like that. So by them picking up Reggie Bush, he serves as basically a third down back, like a pass catcher, long down situations. You'll still be seeing Daniel Thomas as the bell cow. It's looking like, which is great for Daniel Thomas owners, which I am in one of my drafts. The only one I have so far, but I will be doing more, so watch for those. Steve Smith is going to stay a Panther. There was a lot of talk that he wanted to move, was requesting to be traded, but I guess Carolina's made a lot of moves. They're a lot healthier this year, so I guess he's happy to stay there as a Panther for the time being. Um, I'm not sure how long the contract is. I don't have that here on my thing. You can probably look that up real quick, and I don't know if it was available at the time I was writing this, but I'm sure you can find out now how long he's going to be staying on the team. Steve Preston is now a Chief, heading to Kansas City, where he'll be with Todd Haley, who he used to play with back when Todd Haley was in Arizona, which is actually the season where Preston had his best year. So it's going to be interesting to see how Preston fits in with them, working with Dwayne Bowe, and so I'm not really too sure how many targets he'll see right off the bat. They have Bowe and Baldwin on the outsides. They have running backs who know how to pass catch, and Charles and McCluster. But still, I like the pickup for. I like it for Preston. I like it for the Chiefs. Bengals picked up a kicker, Gradkowski, or not kicker. I'm actually get my names mixed up here. They picked up the quarterback, Bruce Gradkowski. I guess they wanted to fill the gap there with the rookie they have. I guess not rookie. I've never seen the kid play. It's Palmer's brother. They signed a 2-year deal. Hopefully, I see him starting in week 1. He's been pretty up and down when he played with the Raiders. So not really very viable fantasy-wise unless he ends up being half decent, and he could be a replacement for you on a bye week or on an injury. Jabbar Gaffney and Dante Stallworth are heading to the Redskins. Redskins don't have a quarterback right now, though, so I don't know how much this is really going to matter. And they've re-signed Santana Moss, which I'll talk about later. Maybe I'll just talk about it now since I brought it up. They've re-signed Santana Moss. They have Jabbar Gaffney, Dante Stallworth, and I'm sure that they have Anthony Armstrong back, but no quarterback. So if they can grab a quarterback, maybe there's some fantasy value in those dudes. Probably Santana Moss and Anthony Armstrong more so. But they've picked up it's quite the foursome there, I guess. Patriots, again, the Jerks have grabbed Albert Hainsworth for a 5th-round draft pick. So hopefully what they're thinking, hopefully what I'm hoping doesn't happen, is that he will fit in perfectly and obey the rules they have there, listen to the coach, listen to Brady, just not be the diva he has tended to be the last couple of years, and they got him at a discount price. So it could be another steal for the Patriots this year. Eagles grabbed Jason Babin, the defensive end. He had 12.5 sacks last year. I doubt he's going to do that again. So it may not be the player they expect him to be, but still it looks like a good pickup for them to add to their line. Lions have grabbed the linebacker Justin Durant. So they're still adding depth to that defense, which is great for Detroit. And Buccaneers have re-signed Quincy Black, which is kind of weird. I thought they would re-sign Barrett Rudd first. I doubt Barrett Rudd's going to leave. He's been their captain on defense, the leading tackler for year after year. But for now, they have Quincy Black, and we'll have to see what happens with Barrett Rudd. But Quincy Black has been a quality IDP every time I've had Barrett Rudd, and I'm checking NFL.com stats to see his tackles, other games going on. There's always Q Black right there with him. And that was it for this day, and now on to the final day. We're up to 8 minutes on this video here, so I'll try to fly through this. So you probably all may have heard about it by now. Donovan McNabb is a Minnesota Viking for the year. That'll be very interesting. Devin Romashodu is a Viking as well. The Jets re-signed Santonio Holmes. They are yet to make a play on Braylon Edwards. He's kind of questioning his role there anyways. Matt Hasselbeck is a Titan. Not really a guy who's going to win you the game, but he can definitely help you not lose the game, manage it. So this is good for Chris Johnson, I believe, to help him stay in the field more and not have him have to do everything. Matt Hasselbeck can use his arm a bit. The Seahawks have grabbed Tavares Jackson and Sidney Rice. Sidney Rice is a great wide receiver, but I don't know how useful it's going to be with Tavares Jackson and Charlie Whitehurst battling for QB role. So it kind of sucks for Sidney Rice if you have him or if you wanted to pick him up this year. Rams picked up a good strong safety in Quentin Michael. He's a great tackler. I believe he led team last year, the Eagles. I mean, who he's coming from. He may have led them in tackles last year. He's a good player. He's going to fill a nice hole in their secondary. Jaguars picked up Paul Leslie off the Bills. The guy's a giant. It's a 6-year deal. There was a lot of talk that he was going to stay in Buffalo, but I guess with the chance to play in a different kind of defense, one that people think he's going to fit into better, 4-3 defense, it definitely doesn't hurt his value. And I had him ranked as one of the top linebackers, top 10 this year anyways. He missed time last year, but still came out as one of the top options last year. So Paul Posluszny is looking to have a good season as a Jaguar. 49ers have re-signed Alex Smith. I guess he's going to be their starting QB this year. So if he can connect again with Vernon Davis, and hopefully Michael Crabtree can break out a bit, and that'll be good. Although I've read recently that Michael Crabtree might miss some time this season again. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Um, yeah, Crabtree. I really don't have much faith in this guy until he proves he can play a whole season and can connect with Alex Smith on a regular basis. But and then the last one I have here is Santana Moss. But I've already talked about him, and we're over 10 minutes now, so let's end this. Hopefully you stuck with me through this whole thing. I appreciate it, guys. It's another edition of Koopa Fantasy. It's been wild with this free agency stuff so far, and I imagine it's going to be wild for a few more days. But I'll attempt to keep you up to date. Check out my blog, koopafantasy.wordpress.com, if you want to read my other content that's there. I got some rankings, schedules, sleepers, a bunch of mixed bags, random fantasy football stuff. So check it out. koopafantasy.wordpress.com. This is Koopa Fantasy saying goodbye to everybody. Peace.